Morning, 21st of June. Wimbledon starting soon, and so is the mulching. That'll be starting in about 10 minutes time. The video you would have last seen online was yesterday, or posted yesterday with the pictures at the end. It was yesterday morning, so it should follow on quite easily. Probably underdone the straw to what I normally do, but quite often it's pretty deep. For some reason I was thinking 15 bales would be enough. Probably will be, but 20 would have been better. But the plants are looking really good in most cases. We had some good rain last night, or yesterday morning after I'd watered. There's a bit of moisture in the ground, which is the first time there's been any for a long time. So it'd be good to try and keep it in. So just briefly, excuse me, I've got oak woods on the first bed. These are the win arms. You can see they've moved away well from their first stop, and I shall start doing second stops probably another 10 days or so. These I need to start stopping, which is Nebrin and Aggie. It's a bit of a funny plant there. And I've got a brin tuber growing out the ground up there that I've been sort of saving in case I need to replace it. I think I will. These are all Aggie. They're good plants now. They're starting to nearly touch each other in wingspan. And these are all Louis, so again I need to get stopping on those. There are breaks already formed at the base of some, so I've not rushed because they're sort of already away, but I need to get on it. Just up here, which we don't often go up, these are AC Casper. Those were two plants that I planted, or three plants that were the first tips out the plants I got, and then the other plants are the side shoots from the three mother plants. So they're going to be on a single stop, hopefully, and these will be on a double stop. This is a oak wood, or part of the oak wood. The other half is up the other end, as we saw. Rycroft Jill, just got to get the last few canes in there. Mary's, I'm going to have to take some buds out on some, but generally they're alright, they're well away, well branched. That's the softer gleam. In there and there, and then these are the Skemsel Jane and the poms. I've sort of been holding back, but time to stop the poms again, so that'll be another this week job. I'm hoping to get a day off work tomorrow so I can get the mulching done and to get these stops done, and then it's just growing them from there on. I'll show you when I've done. Alright, so I'm just stopping the giants. It's about, what is it, the 20th of June. These are all Brin family. This one's Aggie White, and they are late flowering. I probably could have done this earlier, but the plants were well. The shoots were starting to form in the base, other than the ones that have budded. So I'm going to stop this one. Just going to cut the top out. It's a bit chunky for snapping, especially with one hand. And I try and leave it as sealed as possible, so I cut just above a joint and you don't get a big hole. And then we'll remove the top pair. I'll remove the next ones down, remembering I only want 3 flowering stems on this plant, so I don't want to encourage it to produce too many. There's 3 joints there, but I can see 4 shoots, 5 shoots, small enough, they're fine. And also I have planted these plants deep, so there is a chance that you might get a underground shoot romp up from them. I have stripped totally down on a couple of plants just to see what happens, but I think on this variety they'll probably end up flowering late, but so that's fine. So I'm probably going to get 4 or 5 shoots from this plant, which I'll then select the 3 that I want. This one decided to bud early, so I took the top out quite hard on it, and we've got 4 main shoots. So rather than leaving them to go, because they're going to flower well before any flower show, I'm going to just cut them hard back. This does mean I am leaving hollow stems, but I don't really have a lot of choice about that. A bit hard with one hand, so those have been cut back, and we're left with a plant with 4 shoots and a pair of leaves on each. Hopefully they'll romp away. Probably a plant like that is going to be flowering after the one that I've just done, because there's literally nothing in the shoots. So it might get me through to perhaps Surrey or even Harrogate, and I don't mind that variation. I've got over 40 plants of Aggie White, so it's this row down here, those are Brins, and the whole of this bed here is all Aggie White. So I don't mind if some are going to flower sooner, some will flower later. It will just spread the flush out a bit. Thursday the 22nd of June, day 2. So I did this yesterday, as we saw. I cut back all the giants. Some heavier and harder than others. It looks a bit odd, but I think it'll just spread the flush. When you've got so many plants of one variety, you just don't want them all at the same time. So they're all done. I've just sprinkled some more slug pellets on the ground, and this plot's just had its weekly feed. I'm just waiting for the water butt to fill up, and then I'll give this side a feed, just not so such a strong dilution. Also went through the poms yesterday and just give them a cut back, and that'll probably be the last cut back. It's the second stop effectively, but I'll let them come from there, and then just knock back individual stems and buds as they come. It's not the most pleasant of tasks. I've got itchy feet already from the bits of straw in my trainer, but we've got to get this plot mulched. It took a day off work to just get it done in one movement as such, and then we can get on with growing the dahlias. It's just about 2:30. That's that job done. So all that plot is now mulched. They've all been fed today. Done a few beds, fed some, done a few, fed some, just to break up the bending over. Half a third of a bale of straw left over. Might have some bits to top up later. And I've got all the canes in on the poms, and the last few down there, so everything is fed, watered, mulched, sticks in. Not much more to do now till next week. I'll have to come up probably Sunday, give them a drink, and then that'll get me through to next Wednesday, where I'll start cutting some of these back as their second stops. See you then. We're a week on, Wednesday the 28th of June. Straw's been down that week and the plants have come out of it, and they're really moving on fast, a little bit too fast, so nice coming out, and I'll show you that in a minute. So just a quick run through. There's the oak wood that I'm trying to hold on a single, but don't think I'm going to. Dines, the Aggies. Just a minute ago you saw me cut or stop that plant and the shoots are coming underneath, and that plant got hard chopped. You can see the shoots coming a week later. There's the rest of the Aggies in varying stages of being stopped. The rest of the Oakwood are on a double and getting their second one. Jill, Mary's, Softer Gleam, Scampsdale Jane, and the Poms that all got cut back last week. Look like those never cut back at all and have ramped up. We've all just had a feed. It's now time to get the knife out and cut some back. So that's this bed of Dahlias done, all bar one plant. I thought I'd better save one for the video. You can see they're just all down to really one pair of leaves on each stem. So this is what we get from the first stop. That was done at the very beginning of this month. And I tend to count the shoots. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 shoots. Have a look to see if there's any wispy bits in there. No. And bearing in mind this is Winholm dying, so we'll only be growing this 7, maybe 8 up. You don't need a huge amount of shoots to come from this chop. I know this will make some of you cringe. And trying to do it one-handed isn't the easiest. So it's 1, 2. I might go down further once I can see what's going on down there. 3. 4. 5. Just catch a leaf every now and again with the knife, just take it out, don't want them hanging around. Now I can get into it. 6. 7. 8. Now I can see it a bit. Probably this one. I've actually left 2 pairs on, so we'll take that off. The same with this one here. There's a pair, nice pair there, so we'll take that down. And that's that done. So we've got 8 shoots, pretty much with 1 pair of leaves on each. Some have probably got 2. As soon as they get away, and I can get in there with my fingers, I'll start whittling them down to probably 10 shoots, and then let 10 very small shoots develop up through, and then select down to 7 or 8 from that a bit later on. So that's that bed done. I'll save that bed of Winholm till next week, so there is a difference, hopefully. The plan is that this plot or this bed will see me into Essex, Hyde Hall, and maybe as far as Kent, with a few going through, and that one I kick in part way through and see me through into the Wisley, probably Kent, Wisley and Surrey. That's what you end up with. It's quite a big pile of greenery that you've just spent the last month growing and now chops it off. But the energy is in the base of the plant, in my mind, and it's a bit like when you prune a shrub, an established shrub with a big root system. Quite often the resulting growth ends up stronger than the original. So I'll carry on now. Obviously we saw the giants done, and I'll probably post this today, so those of you that are thinking about going out and starting this on your plants will have an idea of what to do, or what I do. It's not necessarily what to do, and I will do I basically do the same on the miniatures, but maybe just leave 2 pairs on each stem, because we're looking for perhaps 16 to 20 flowers on some of them. See you next time. 3 o'clock. I've had enough, and it's pretty much done all I can do. So yeah, finished the second stops, chops. So half the die-ins. So the giants were already done, and I've done half the Jill. So those have been done up to about there. That row still to do. Did all the Marys because they was all budding, so there's no point leaving them. Selectively half the softer gleams, half the stem style Jane. So that bed up to about there is done, and then that row. I've managed to fill my neighbour's compost bin up, and had a little bit to spare. That'll soon break down, as will the bin, and I'll just pop it in there. It'll be a couple of days. Right, onwards and upwards.